A little over 5 months ago, I made a video covering the glitched Pokemon from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Afterwards, it was highly requested to cover the glitched Pokemon in Pokemon Crystal as well, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today, using this wonderful method provided by Teemo VM. And once again, huge thanks again to them for bringing us this lovely mail writer method, which I plan to show more of in the future. But for now, let's enjoy the fun given to us from the glitched Pokemon of Pokemon Crystal. First up, much like in Gold and Silver, is 5?00. You'll see here when we open the stats, it is a normal type glitch Pokemon. And you can see the glitch type is a little weird. It's got some characters and followed by rocket. It's number 000, so it's essentially a blank Pokemon or like nothing. It has no moves, but I shouldn't say it's quite like nothing because its stats are very good. And I'll show those on screen now. Now there are a couple issues with this Pokemon, kind of like in Gold and Silver. First is that since it is like a blank Pokemon, it acts as a cancel button. And for that reason, if it's put at the top of the party, it will cover up the rest of the party. And they won't be healed like the Pokemon Center, for example. Another issue is that it cannot be deposited into the PC. Now it's time to check it out in battle, and another similarity to Gold and Silver is that it does not have any moves, so you struggle while in battle. But another issue exclusive to Crystal for this glitch Pokemon is that it has a glitched EXP growth, so it actually goes down to level 1 and causes issues. Before going into another battle, we are going to teach the TM. Some of the ones worth noting are Giga Drain, Dragon Breath, Sidekick, and Surf. We're going to teach Sidekick. So now let's go into another battle. Now that we have a move we can actually use. But the fact that I got a Ditto reminded me there's something I did not show in Gold and Silver that I wish I had, because we get a different effect in those games in Crystal. But if you remember the post I made about a little quiz, you'll see that using an item makes the glitch Pokemon look strange. Even if we don't do that Ditto once it transforms, we'll still turn into that familiar sprite now. And so that is the answer to the quiz. It is a Ditto that transformed into this glitch Pokemon. It seems like all the glitch Pokemon have the same sprite, but I only tried it with this one. So as far as I know, they're all the same. We get kind of owned by Ditto there, because I use Sidekick on us. Now that's all for 5?00 in Pokemon Crystal, so let's take a look at our list here, returning in this video. And so normally we would go to the Glitch Unknown, because that did exist in Gold and Silver. However, that's not the case, so we're going to go straight to 5?= FC. One detail in Crystal that's different from Gold and Silver is that this Pokemon takes the form of Lapras in the Pokemon party. You see it's a Fire normal type, number 252, and it has Mega Punch as a move. Now it's time to see it into battle. It also has really good and balanced stats, which I'll show on screen now. Another issue with this Pokemon is that it has a glitched experience group, and essentially what that means is it has trouble leveling up. Usually it causes it to underflow, and I'll just show you in battle. It's a much easier way to see it. Thankfully, this Pokemon can be leveled up normally with the use of rare candies, which is necessary, because essentially whenever it gains EXP, it's going to completely learn all of its moveset and loop around all the way up to 255. Thankfully, unlike in Gold and Silver, it does this instantly. In Gold and Silver, it would level up one by one. You saw that at the beginning of this video. But it's going to learn every move it has in its moveset, or its learn set. You can see there it learned a glitch move. Now I'm not going to show all this because it will take a while, but what you need to know is that when this glitch Pokemon levels up, it's going to level up all the way to 255, the max level, and underflow to 1, and then settle on 2. It's going to try and learn every move at that point, and the glitch moves might be able to freeze the game, so careful of that. We'll use this opportunity to battle this Rattata to show that even after leveling up via rare candies, there's still going to be an issue with the leveling. So once we defeat Rattata here, we'll gain some EXP, and we'll do the same fiasco from earlier. We are going to skip that actually. Side note, because I haven't mentioned it yet, you'll notice that this Pokemon is a yellow color, similar to the last one. They all seem to take the back sprite of the trainer initially, and just different palette. So now we're back here to check out the glitch move. As you might have seen, it learns a decent variety of moves via level up and the aforementioned glitch move. You can also learn some nice moves via TMs and HMs. Some good ones are Giga Drain, Sidekick, Swift, and Waterfall. I'm going to teach it Swift. And so the glitch move, we're actually outsped because I forgot to level it up before battle. Thankfully we hang on with just 1 HP, and then it said it failed, and the game crashed. And the next one is one that's been long awaited. It's the Glitch Egg, or Index 253. In theory, it could be 5 question marks FD, but due to how the Pokemon's determined, instead of being a glitched Pokemon, it takes the appearance of an egg because the second byte of data makes it into an unhatched egg, so that's what it corresponds to. In other words, 253. Now, the first byte is actually important here. When you take it into battle, which was another big difference from Gold and Silver. If you remember, I mentioned that it's a bit more interesting here in Crystal. Because in Gold and Silver, it would just crash the game, but here in Crystal, we can actually use it in battle. As I mentioned, the first byte will determine the Pokemon's stats and like experience growth. The second byte will determine what type of Pokemon it is, and since it is correspondent to Index 253, it takes the form of an unhatched egg, which is the reason why Ditto here takes the form of the unhatched egg, which is pretty neat, considered using that for the quiz. Pretty much no other situation in this game will go against an opposing egg. It's pretty funny for that reason. Once again, the egg only knows struggle, and it actually cannot learn any moves because it's an egg, but it still tries to fight since it is technically still a glitched Pokemon. And here's a good example of the changes from the experience rate. You can see it actually changed its level, it down leveled to 27. And that's determining on the type of Pokemon it's opposing. So for Ditto, for example, it de-leveled there. Kind of reminds me of Missing No from Generation 1. So there's another issue we have with the egg, and that's that we cannot release the egg. You can see here if I go into the PC. Forgot that you can do it just straight from deposit, so I deposited and go withdraw. Doesn't matter though. Cannot remove it, and initially I was going to show a method of removing it using something special in the game. However, that does not actually work, despite Bulbapedia telling me otherwise. So we're going to use that still, but in a different way. And it's kind of neat here. So I mentioned that it takes 30,720 steps in Gold and Silver to hatch the egg. However, huge thanks once again to Team OVM for having that awesome mail writer, which I will put in the description because there's a lot of useful stuff on there. There is this code we can put in the mail writer that is initially supposed to be used for Pokemon happiness. However, it also has the effect of reducing the amount of cycles for an egg to hatch. So the code I put in makes it to where there's only 1 cycle remaining. Which is really good for us, because then if I just run around a little bit, we'll get that iconic message of it saying, and so the egg will hatch. So let's see what happens. And you can see there, it just becomes another egg. Which also makes it an issue, because we still cannot get rid of it, so we're kind of stuck with this Pokemon. You can also nickname it too, which is kind of interesting, instead of calling it an egg. And once it hatches, it resets, and we have to do a whole another giant mess of cycles to be able to hatch it again. This guy will give us a Pokemon to deliver mail to a guy on Route 31. And with that method from Bulbapedia not working, there's something else that we are going to try. So I'm going to deposit all my Pokemon, because I want to hold on to them. It doesn't really matter for what's going on, but this is an example of what you want to do if you were going to do this yourself. Now, something I wanted to try was, I never tried it before, but what if you put the mail on a different Pokemon that you don't want? So for example, the mail, you'll deliver it to the guy on Route 31. It's labeled Randy. So if we give it to the Pidgey I had instead of the Spearow, and so what happens if we deliver that to that guy? But there's another issue in the way. And I never do this, that if you try to give it to him from you, what will you do in battle? Because, you know, we'll only have an egg left. And it's like, well, that's annoying, because of course Bulbapedia didn't mention that either. But this time, using a different code, we can make it to where we'll get an egg by itself. So we just completely bypass the step of the mail. So unfortunately, as far as I know, Bulbapedia was wrong about that. However, it is still possible to use this guy to remove a Pokemon from the party. And finally, we got what we came for, the egg all by itself in the Pokemon party. So here we go again with the egg in battle. It can only struggle, unfortunately. And with that being the case, it's going to take a little while to faint. Because that's the goal here. We're actually going to have the egg faint. So you can see there, it was at 1 HP. Goes down. And in this game, we'll white out instead of blackout. Unlike in Generation 1. And so if we go into battle here, something pretty cool will happen. When we try to fight, it'll just kick us out of battle. And it's just like, what the heck? And we didn't technically lose the battle, we didn't black out. And the game doesn't know what to do, because we have an egg that's still fainted, because it does not heal after whiting out. So there's this weird limbo state to where this Pokemon's still fainted. We're walking around with it, you can see there very clearly we have a fainted Pokemon. And so when we send it out in battle, the battle just ends. We don't even actually send it out in battle. The game just kind of doesn't know what to do. And our mom's calling us. Probably because we technically won that battle. It counts as a win from doing that. If we talk to the NPC here, they'll give us the message after they are beaten. This is a very practical use of this glitch, because you can use this to just steamroll through the game. You don't need any Pokemon. Clearly HMs are still a thing, so you do need to have HM slaves along the way. If you have walkthrough walls, you have that, and you won't need it, which is also something you can get from the Mail Rider. The unstoppable Mail Rider, honestly. Anyway, so that's all for the glitch egg. The next Pokemon, 5 question marks FE, or Index 254, is a normal type Pokemon, so it's going to be very weak to fighting. You can see there, number 254, also doesn't have any moves. It also has pretty good stats, much like the other glitch Pokemon. And much like 5 question marks FC, it also has trouble with leveling up. It does require a great amount of experience points to level up from any level from 4 to 15. But generally any level outside that, once it gains experience, it's going to instantly level up all the way to level 6. Once again, all the way up to 255. Then it's going to underflow to 1 and go on 6. And it will learn its entire move pool. You can see there it's learning a bunch of moves, and then there's a glitch move. Very interesting looking one. There's going to be a video where I'm going to cover glitch moves, so we're just going to leave it at that for right now. Once again, when it learns glitch moves, it has the chance to freeze the game, so keep that in mind when it levels up. Another little note is if it's deposited and withdrawn into the PC, once it comes out it's going to revert back to level 6. It does learn a decent set of moves via level up, and some from TM as well. Some notable ones of TMs is Hyper Beam, Dragon Breath, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch. It also tries to learn Morning Sun at least 3 different times. But this is going to take too long, so once again I'm going to cut out most of the move learning. This Pokemon is quite the scholar. It likes to learn, huh? Pretty good moves too, Extreme Speed. It tries to learn yet another glitch move. And like I said, I'm just going to do that in a separate video, because there's a lot of other neat glitch stuff unrelated to glitch Pokemon. So eventually, after all this finishes up, this Pokemon has the ability to evolve, which it will do after it levels up, because it will try to evolve at level 3. And we'll see there it evolved into 5 question marks, so that's interesting. Wonder which one that was. So if we take a look in battle, we can see what it was. And if you can't tell, it's actually 5 question marks 00. That did happen in Gold and Silver as well. Some of the Pokemon would evolve into 5 question marks 00. And you can see there the game did crash. That tends to be a big problem for that one. That one wasn't as problematic in Gold and Silver. It was actually probably one of the best of the 5 to 6 that were available to us, if you will. And finally, our last glitch Pokemon is 5 question marks FF. It's pretty similar to how it was in Gold and Silver. It once again is type normal, super weak to fighting, number 255, so it's the equivalent of other 255 Pokemon in Generation 1. It has very good stats, much like in Gold and Silver. It also acts like a cancel button and actually can be used in an exploit, the Time Capsule exploit, which is very useful. It hides Pokemon beneath it, so it can actually trade Pokemon in between the generations that did not exist in Generation 1. And it does this by making them look like M if it's red and blue, or 3-Trainer Poke if it's Pokemon Yellow. If you view the Pokédex entry, it will cause the game to freeze. It is able to learn some moves via level up. Ice Punch at level 17, and as you saw there, Egg Bomb at level 44. It's a very interesting move in this generation. I don't ever recall seeing it. It just rolls the egg over. This one, unlike in Gold and Silver, does not down level. And this seems to have taken the position of 5 question marks 00 from Gold and Silver, and this one became the awesome one of Crystal. And here's another neat detail that I haven't really shown. I've shown it off enough in Gold and Silver, but once again, it happens here as well. The palette of those Pokemon will persist, but the sprite will be used at whatever was shown last on screen. That's why it takes the trainer sprite usually, because that was the last one on screen. But if you switch Pokemon, you can see here we have that kind of grayish white, blacked and white out Totodile, we'll call it, which is pretty cool. Personally, this is probably my favorite of the bunch in this game. It was hard to decide in Gold and Silver, and here they're all kind of meh. With one exception, the Glitch Egg, which could be runner-up for the best. It's just annoying that it doesn't really learn any moves. Some notable TMs that 5 question marks FF can learn are Giga Drain, Earthquake, Ice Punch, Sludge Bomb, and Fire Punch. This brings us to the end of the video, as that is all of the glitch Pokemon and Pokémon Crystal. As I mentioned, that's not all of the glitch content in this game. There are still some big ones like glitch mail, glitch items, and glitch moves. Be sure to let me know if you're interested in seeing any of those, or if there's something else you're interested in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as I did put a bit more effort into this one. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to let me know by rating the video well. Also let me know if there's anything I missed, as I might be able to do another visit of glitch Pokemon and Crystal, as I'm definitely revisiting Gold and Silver soon, and would like to for Crystal as well. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you made it this far into the video, you're awesome. I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.